Welcome to episode 112 of Instant Expertise Marketing, the podcast where we help you get more done in less time by using AI like a pro, not a tourist. I'm Yvette Brown, co-founder of X Promos. I started this business at 23 with my then 29-year-old business partner, Shari, and we've been navigating marketing trends together for over 3 decades.
And I'm Shari Nomady. Yvette and I have lived through it all. Directmail.com's data dashboards, and now we are knee-deep in the AI era. We are helping marketers use it responsibly and efficiently.
And today's episode is a big one. We're going to be talking about bias, verification, and why you should never accept AI's first response at face value. So let me start out by painting a picture. Imagine AI as a vendor in a global marketplace. These sellers in these marketplaces, they're quick, they're confident, and they're smooth talking. And they are always ready with a first offer.
And if you've ever haggled in a real marketplace, then you already know you never, ever take the first offer, right?
That is exactly right. What do you do instead? You pause, you ask questions, you verify, and you push back.
And with AI, your job is the exact same thing. You're not negotiating a price, but you are negotiating truth and depth.
Yep, and here's the thing. AI, as we've tried to share with you before, it doesn't know facts. What it's doing is predicting the next word based on patterns in its giant, massive training data. So it does this one token at a time. And to be fair and to be very clear, those predictions are mostly bang on, but they are not perfect.
So when AI gives you this really confident stat or this really bold claim, it's not lying. It's just making its best educated guess based on everything it knows.
Yeah, that's very true. And sometimes those guesses will include fake numbers, outdated information, or phrasing that might reflect the bias in the data that it's been trained on.
And so now if you go and just copy and paste that into a deck or a campaign, something you're working on, then now you are the one publishing the BS or the lie or the untruth.
And we want to prevent you from doing that. So the way we look at it is AI has already gifted us time savings when it drafted that input. So if we need to dip into house money to verify and edit the input, we know we're still going to walk away with a huge overall gain.
And that's right. So before you ever hit send or share, ask yourself 3 things. Number 1, could anything in this be risky or wrong or even maybe made up? Are all the data points verifiable and current? And lastly, does this align with our brand voice, our sentiment, and our positioning? Because the LLMs can always do better than its first offering. And you have to be the one to push back with clarity on exactly what it is you want to see.
Yep, just like that buyer at the marketplace. So to that point, here's a simple example, very simple example of the type of prompt we use all the time after a first draft. We might say something like, list and verify any factual claims in your response. Eliminate and rework anything that may be biased, exclusionary, or overly confident. And then at this point, by doing that, you can review the output and its suggestions before you ask it to take a final pass. This is oftentimes how we collaborate with AI is we'll say, you know what, I agree with you, it could be better on this point, but I want you to skip point 2 and 3 and rework in 4. So again, You remain in control. Then you're asking it to output that final iteration, and it's much closer to what you're actually looking for.
So in the end, remember, you're keeping it simple and direct and something that you can easily build into either your workflows or your conversations.
Yeah, that's really a great point, Shari, is that a lot of the outputs that I do are conversational based, but you absolutely can build in some of these checks within a workflow. So it's doing some of this automatically. As you know, we still are big believers in human in the loop. You don't want to lose that, but you can to get some of these versioning done before you are evaluating that final offer. So, the point to it though is you don't need to prompt perfectly every time up front, right? Just get in there, get started. As you know, if you've been listening to us, that when you add context, clarity, and constraints, you're going to get better outputs the first time. But keep in mind that you can refine after that first draft, kind of just like you would do with a junior copywriter.
So let's say you asked AI to write an industry report summary, and it includes phrases like, according to recent studies, or marketers saw a 38% drop.
Okay, you need to stop right there, right? On something like that, you absolutely need to ask it, what study, what year, give me a link, is that stat real, and can you cite the source?
Exactly. Or maybe you're writing copy for a global audience and it comes back sounding like it's all US centric or very gendered. It's another red flag.
Yep, that's a great point, Shari. And really, today's takeaway is simple. Trust AI to do your first draft. But just like the savvy buyer at that global marketplace, never accept the first offer.
AI is fast, but it's not flawless. So you're still the expert. Remember that. And you are also the filter. This is where the real value becomes evident.
Yeah, and you really just need to build this into your process. Ask it the hard questions, prompt for verification, and protect your brand from publishing polished nonsense.
And we do go into greater depth on bias and verification in our AI literacy training because prompting isn't about what you ask, but it's about what you check before you ask.
Yep, and that's exactly it. And if you want more real world prompting strategies like this, check out our AI Foundations course at xpromos.com/AI. We teach you how to get the most out of the LLM models so you can get your work done faster, better, and in half the time because you will come out of that being AI literate.
And that's it for today. Like, follow, share this with any marketer in your life or who just passed GPT copy into their client pitch.
That's a great point. Please share this with them. And otherwise, we will see you next time. We appreciate you coming.